Alright guys, happy Thursday, June 2nd. Hope you guys are having an awesome week so far. It's almost the weekend. The weather's been fantastic. Hope you guys are being active and doing stuff outside other than just working out in the gym and hanging out having beers. We're going to talk about the workout. First off, important basketball business, calves and six. Said it here first. Now you know. Alright, here we go. Warm up. 3 rounds. Not for time. We're going to do 15 overhead walking lunge steps. Again, select the weight as you need. You can increase the weight every round as you go. Whatever is going to make this a good warm-up for you. 10 push-ups, chest to ground. If you need to scale it to a box or a bar in the rack, that's awesome. And a 30-second kip swing or beat swing. So what you're going to do is you're going to hold on to the bar and you're going to do your gymnastics kip back and forth, really focusing on warming up your shoulders and keeping your core really tight back and forth for 30 seconds. All right, then we're going to work into our strength set for today. It's 5 sets of 8 back squat. Again, because this is an off-cycle week, there'll be a longer video explaining the cycle for next week. But because it's an off-cycle week, just go for what feels good for 8. You don't really have any targets. You're just looking for to kind of stay moving and stay with it, and keep some weight on your back so you don't kind of lose all the gains that we got in the last cycle. All right, Metcon. As many rounds as possible in 10 minutes of 6 toes to bar, 6 pistols, and 24 double unders. So there's always toes to bar. We can scale it back, with toes to bar being the most difficult of the movements. Bringing it back one step is going to be a knees to elbows. Beyond that would be a kip swing that's controlled. You're going to kip up, get as close as you can to a knees to elbows, and then back down. Kip up as close as you can to knees to elbows, and back down. If you're going to work on these swings, it's going to be ideal in the Metcon scenario for you to actually string cycled knees to elbows or toes to bar, or these big kip swings where you're just missing the last couple inches of range of motion together. String them together. Because if you're going to take this Metcon and you're just going to do one toe to bar and then wait until the momentum stops you and then rest for 2 seconds while you're hanging on the bar and your grip's getting fatigued and tired, then you're going to do another toe to bar and it takes you a minute to do 6 toes to bar. That is too slow for the purpose of this workout. All right, I really want you guys to start thinking about the intent of each part of the training session, and note that in the Metcon, the part here is metabolic conditioning. We're trying to train the metabolic pathways. So if you're taking 1 minute to do 6 reps, it's 1 rep every 10 seconds on average. That's a very low amount of work being done, a low work output, and we want to increase that as much as possible. All right, so again, work with your coach or use your judgment. But make sure that whatever scaling you do has you doing as much work as you can in as short a period of time as possible. All right, so that's for the toes to bar scaling. Pistols, to a box, to a ball is fine. If you're nowhere close to that, jumping squats are a good sub, or regular squats. You should probably do about a 2-to-1 sub for these unless you're new or weak with squats, just because you don't want to get through them too quick. And then 24 double unders. Counting attempts, doing single leg skipping back and forth. Whatever a good double under progression for you is the key. Unless you are great at double unders, then this should be no problem. Target time. We haven't talked about target times a lot in these workouts because it very much depends on each person's ability level. A lot of times when I was writing target times out, people were like, oh man, that's such a big range. Well, it is a big range because it is fairly unique. And based on how you scale it, if you're not doing it RX, and then if you are doing RX, what your ability level is. Generally, a workout like this, if you look at it, 6 toes to bar, 6 pistols, 24 double unders, it's not unreasonable to say that someone's going to do this amount of work in a minute. Not everyone can do it in a minute, but so 10 is a possible target. For a lot of people, this number is not going to be an achievable amount of work. 10 would be difficult just because of transition time as well, because the reps are small. However, that's going to be something that you can shoot for very easily, but the best way I have of kind of estimating the amount of rounds you should hit on the fly in the middle of the workout, and I've mentioned this before, but I'll mention it again because some people have been asking, is as you get through the first round, you're going to look at the clock, and you're going to say, okay, first round took me 1 minute for this workout. Did it 1 minute, awesome. Try to make sure that all your rounds are no more than 1:30. Give yourself about 150% of that time to keep your rounds going. If it's something like this and you start getting into like true mechanical failure, like you just can't, you're doing toes to bar, your toes are just not touching, you have to sit there and rest. That's a little different story. But as if you're just still being able to do 6 and 24 unbroken, and you're just starting to rest in between, don't give yourself more than a minute 30 per round after that. If there's things that are breaking down, give yourself 200%, so twice the time. So give yourself 2 minutes for the rest of the rounds. Again, that's not saying round 1 needs to be 1 minute and round 2 needs to be 2 minutes. That means as it starts degrading, keep watching it, but don't let it get beyond that point. So that's going to be a way for you to kind of ballpark how many rounds you're able to do as you go. So that target might be floating, but about halfway through, you should have a really pretty solid handle on how much you're trying to accomplish in that window, bar some sort of catastrophic failure or unforeseen failure. All right. Core cash out, half Tabata mashup of hollow rocks and V-ups. That's 20 seconds of hollow rocks, 10 seconds rest, 20 seconds of V-ups, 10 seconds rest, and you're going to repeat that 4 times, so 8 total work cycles. All right. I hope you guys have a great workout, and we will see you for